On August 26, Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, instructed schools throughout the state to display the Ten Commandments. This directive came shortly after a federal court ruled in favor of 11 school districts that opposed displaying the Decalogue in classrooms. Paxton emphasized the historical significance of the Ten Commandments in America's legal and moral heritage. He stated, "The work of radicals seeking to erase our nation's history will be defeated. I will not back down from defending the virtues and values that built this country." Texas Governor Greg Abbott had previously signed Senate Bill 10 into law on June 10, mandating that every classroom in Texas public schools display the Ten Commandments starting September 1. This legislation quickly faced legal challenges from several school districts. On Wednesday, Judge Fred Beery of the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Texas granted a preliminary injunction to the 11 school districts, preventing them from implementing Senate Bill 10. Judge Beery ruled that the bill crosses the line from exposure to coercion and significantly burdens their exercise of religious or non-religious beliefs. Judge Beery expressed concerns that even if the Ten Commandments were not actively taught, students would likely have questions that teachers would feel obligated to answer. He remarked, "Teenage boys, being curious hormonally driven creatures, might ask, 'Mrs. Walker, I know about lying and I love my parents, but how do I do adultery?' Truly an awkward moment for overworked and underpaid educators, who already have to deal with sex education issues, and a classic example of the law of unintended consequences in legislative edicts." Paxton's directive applies to schools not affected by the ruling. 2 days after the ruling, the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, of Texas sent a letter to public school superintendents across the state, advising them against implementing Senate Bill 10. The ACLU described it as an unconstitutional law and emphasized that all school districts have a duty to respect students' and families' constitutional rights. They stated, "Because the U.S. Constitution supersedes state law, public school officials may not comply with Senate Bill 10. The U.S. Constitution does not explicitly mention the Ten Commandments, but does state that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof." In 1980, the Supreme Court struck down a similar law in Kentucky.